May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. You are trading with RT Money. And of course, I'm happy to have you. Okay. I really appreciate you stopping by and checking out this forecast on my channel. And uh, I just want to express that to you. Okay. Now we're going to get right into this. Watch. We're looking at the calendar for this upcoming week. Uh, it, Generally on NFP week, I like to trade. I like to limit my trading from Monday to Wednesday. Why? Because you got some good red folder uh, uh, news items, right? Look at Monday. We got USD news. That's just Powell speaking, and we have a bank holiday for the CAD on Tuesday. We have, of course, CPI for the euro, and US has JOLTS jobs and ISM manufacturing. Wednesday, ADP, NFP, right? This tends to be a pretty good market mover, but it's not on the same scale as Friday. Friday NFP is a big one. All right. I don't like to trade on that day because the volatility that is injected into the markets can take you out of trades. You know what I mean? You just want to, the best strategy I've found is to wait until the news announcement and um, look at how the market goes high and low or low and high. And then after, maybe a half an hour, you'll see where the market it actually is. And then you can, you know, kind of scalp or day trade uh, the rest of the move. But it's a I wait until the dust settles a bit before I go ahead and trade. That's what I do. So because that market move, this is a market mover. NFP, CPI data, and interest rate data. When those three, the big three, come out, I'd like to be clear of the market. I don't want to be flat until after the news. All right, because that market moves that way. The day before Thursday, it tends to consolidate. It tends to be a little tricky to trade. So I try to stay clear of that. So Thursday and Friday are days I like to sit on the sidelines, but Monday through Wednesday, that's where I'm looking for a decent move. Okay. And that goes for the news. Now we're going to start with the S&P. We're going to go, we're going to go from there to NASDAQ, to the Dow, to gold, silver, US oil, and UK oil. Okay, starting with the S&P, this is the monthly. All right, you can see this monthly candle for Thursday, for August. All right, you see how it leaves that long shadow there, that long wick. I remember telling you about maybe 2 weeks away, 3 weeks ago. I just don't want to see price when this month started. Actually, that was more than a couple of weeks ago. But when the new month of September had started, I told you I didn't want to see it go past that midpoint of this wick. All right. 50% of long wicks is usually the area where you will find support and resistance to for price, and that's exactly where it went to. Right. That one of the big reasons I said this area is because it intersects with where there was an order block formed, an area of fair value. Price comes back into that area of fair value, all right, and pushes up from there. So this is what I wanted to say. That's exactly what happened. All right, and price respected that 50% of the wick and continued higher. Now we're probably going to get a close above the month of August high. All right. We've already taken out the previous month, July's high, swept that. All right. If we get a close above that, it will be a bullish indicator. All right. That's the way it works. All right. And if we go to the weekly, you can see, I want you to take a picture of this price action in your mind where you see sellers push price lower, but the buyers overtake and push price higher, taking out the high of that bearish candle there. All right, these are all weekly candles. So I look for that that high to intersect the expansion candle. All right, and where a fair value gap can form, and that's what happened last week. Price closed here and left this bullish fair value gap. We have an intersecting um, line from the high of the order block, all right, from the high of the area of fair value, and I'm looking for price to bounce, to come into this area of fair value and continue higher. All right. That was a terrible line, wasn't it? Just a squiggly mess. All right. So what I'm looking for is this boop and that boop. All right. I want to see price come right into that area of fair value. All right. That fair value gap and rebalance this imbalanced area. All right. And continue higher to take out that high. So this becomes our weekly target. Boom. That becomes our weekly target of liquidity, the buy side liquidity. All right. If we go to the daily, you can see that Friday closed bearishly, but it did not take out the low. All right. It did not take out the high. This is an inside bar. And this can indicate that price is changing direction, that we don't have the same momentum that brought price up this high, or we don't have that same momentum anymore. There's a good chance that price may turn around. Okay. And here is the weekly fair value gap. Again, we're on the daily a time frame right now. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for maybe a couple of days of price action that brings price back down to the bullish fair value gap and then continues higher. I would like to see that happen before NFP. Okay, but that's exactly what I'm looking for, because these lows here are low resistance. Is low resistance liquidity, and I'm looking for price to sweep that low resistance liquidity into this fair value gap, this weekly fair value gap, and continue higher. All right, and that's basically it. You do not see. Make a note. You do not see a bearish, a bullish daily fair value gap. All right. So there's nothing to really stop it. The structure is not there to stop it. There's no imbalances to fill. So I'm going to look for bearish ones to form as price makes its way down to this weekly fair value gap here. All right. Now, remember what I just said. Okay. Because I'm going to repeat it again for NASDAQ. All right. Again, what did I tell you on the weekly on the S&P? I told you to take a mental photograph, take a mental shot of that price action, because you're seeing it again. Let me give you a reminder. See it? The sellers push price down into this bullish fair value gap. The bullish fair value gap holds, of course, and the buyers come in, supersede the sellers, right? Form an area of fair value and push price up higher. All right. You're seeing that happen now in the NASDAQ. All right. But the NASDAQ has been a little weaker than the S&P. All right. You can see this wasn't this area of bearish fair value gap here was non-existent on the S&P. All right. But you see it formed on the NASDAQ. All right. And this area where we noted just a few seconds ago is lower than what we saw in S&P. This area was up here, all right, by the highs. All right. We didn't get that in there. The S&P made all new highs over here. See that area? Okay. See how it moved up. All right. This open and this close and open here, it's not like you saw on the S&P, right? So it's a little weaker. However, it did create an area of fair value. All right, a bullish fair value gap here. It did take out the high, this fractal high here. Okay, and I like that as a bullish indicator. Yes, it ran into and has shown respect to this bearish fair value gap, but I believe that it's only going to serve to bring price down into, God dog it, into this doggone uh, bullish fair value gap so that price can go higher. This will be the near term uh, target for next week. This is the weekly target for next week, in my opinion, for buy side liquidity. If we go down to the daily, you can see it's looking very similar to the setup on the S&P. All right, there is again no bullish fair value gaps here. All right, this is the weekly that I have marked here. Okay, let me make sure you see that. Okay, all right, I don't want to get anybody confused. All right, I'm just looking for price to come on down here, take that low resistance liquidity out, and push higher. That's it. Okay, if we go to the Dow, this has been the stronger of the indices. All right, it kept making new highs. We made a new high the week prior to last week, and then last week made a brand new high. Right, took out the previous weekly high, and then on Friday pushed it even higher. All right, now we also have a weekly fair value gap, bullish fair value gap here. All right, and you can see that price action is there again. The sellers and then the buyers overtaking it, and then we have an intersecting uh, uh, intersection of the order block across into the bullish fair value gap. This is very bullish for me. I'm looking for price to come down into this fair value gap. If I can just do it right the first time. All right. Yeah. All right. Oh, come on, man. Almost had it. All right. And push higher. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a price to push higher here. And that will be the weekly target. It's pretty high, isn't it? All right. But the Dow has been stronger than the other two. So I don't think it's unrealistic if we can just do that. All right. So come down and then up. All right. We may get to this, the 50% of this long wick here. All right. We may push higher into that and then come down. So this move may not happen this week. It may or may not, but I believe it will eventually play out this way. Okay. So I'm looking for the near term, the longer term weekly target here, but the near term, I'm looking for a price to take out the sell side first at this low, come into the fair value gap, and then push higher. All right. If we go to gold, uh, gold on a weekly basis, you can see week. Sorry. All right. This is the first candle. This is the second candle. Third candle. This is just we have breakaway gaps. All right, when price closes that high above, you know that we have that's a very strong bullish indication. All right, when it closes that high above the previous week or the previous candle, because price is fractal, you'll see this kind of price action on every time frame. All right, but this last week it did it again. All right, so I'm not expecting price to come down and test this low. I will if price starts to give me dojis here. All right, like if we close in a doji next week, all right, I am expecting price to come back down and then push higher from there. But we got to wait and see what the price action is going to be right now. Right now, it's bullish. There's nothing bearish to speak of just yet. Okay, so we got to be patient. On the daily, again, I have this weekly here. All right, I have the weekly here, but I am bullish in this market. All right, we have a bullish fair value gap that I have highlighted here. This is a daily bullish fair value gap. Price is already tapping into it, sitting on it. I'm looking for price to form bullish setups here. Okay, that's it. I'm looking for price to form bullish setups here on the lower time frames. From the daily, I would go down to the 1 hour, look for price to hit a 1 hour POI or place of interest, and then go down to the 5 minute to look for bullish setups there. Okay. If I'm looking at the 4 hour, I'm going down to the 15 minute, look for a 15 minute place of interest, a POI. And then once price hits that, then I'll be looking for bullish setups on the 1 minute. Do you understand? All right. I hope you're clear. If you have any questions, please ask. All right. So I'm looking for bullish setups here. That's it. All right. If we go to the silver, all right, silver's pretty much the same thing. All right. If we go to the weekly, you can see three nice expansive candles. All right. This one is a little bit more wicky. That's a very long wick there, but we did manage to take out that swing high to the left. All right. I like the fact that price is looking pretty strong. I don't see a reason to look for shorts as yet. All right. But because we took out that high, all right, and of the swing high here, I'm looking for price to give us a signal that either it's coming back to go higher, all right, if it's coming back to go higher, or if it's going to continue to these highs, this swing high, the actual major swing high here, all right. But we did take out this intermediate high here, this intermediate old swing high, and we are sitting in a bullish fair value gap, a bullish daily fair value gap. Here's the weekly fair value gap down here. All right. If price takes out this bullish fair value gap, I'm looking for lower prices. Okay. I'm looking for lower prices, period. All right. If we get a close right around 31,500, we close below 31,500, I'm looking for price to come down to the weekly fair value gap and then seek higher prices. But right now, we are sitting in a bullish fair value gap. I'm looking for price to turn, give us a bullish setup to go higher. I hope that's cool. I hope that's understandable. All right. We are getting close to it. Oil. If you look at my previous forecast, you know I had my eye on this bearish fair value gap for the longest time, and we have a trend line here, a liquidity trend line, a little different than traditional trend line trading. All right, but in either case, we see that we had price finally gave us our bearish run down. All right, to the downside. All right, I'm looking for price to test this. This bearish fair value gap that was formed after Friday's close and continue down. All right. If price breaks through and closes above this fair value gap, then I'm looking for price to come up to this bearish fair value gap and then turn around. In either case, I'm looking for price to continue down to this low. Okay. This will be the immediate target here next week. That'll be my immediate target. I'm looking for the same thing in Brent oil, so that we can keep this simple. Same structure. We hit the fair value gap. We Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, or we saw an expansion to the downside. We have a bearish fair value gap here, and I'm looking for price to continue down from there. I didn't have the right color on the US oil. All right, I'm looking for price to continue down from here. Price break closes above this. There's another fair value gap right here that I'm thinking price will finally start to turn over. Okay, that's it. That's the breakdown for this week. I hope you like it. Leave a boost. Leave a like. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can get all the updates. Make sure you check the comment section because I leave updates throughout the week in the comment section. Okay, check the comment section. All right. I will see you next week, and thank you for watching. May profits be upon you.